Good morning, Columbus. Thank you so much for tuning in to today's daily dose of digital Torah inspiration here at Sinai Studios, Judaism Today. In this week's Parsha Shmini, we have one of the most tragic episodes in Jewish history. It was the momentous of occasions, the moment they'd all been waiting for. The Jews had sinned with the golden calf, but God had forgiven them. He says He wants to dwell amongst us. He wants to place His presence in our camp, in our midst. Build me a Mishkan. The Mishkan is completed. It's the 8th day of the inauguration festivities. Everyone is excited and exuberant, thrilled beyond belief that the Jewish people have achieved their spiritual goal. And then tragedy strikes. Aaron's 2 sons, Nadav and Avihu, 2 Kohanim, 2 holy people, 2 people who had beheld God Himself at Sinai, die. They die. And not only that, they die in the context of the service itself, offering a sacrifice to God in the Holy of Holies. Why? The Torah says something very important and very instructive. The Torah says, "Vayakrivu lifnei Hashem eish zara, asher lo tziva osam," that they had offered a strange fire before God. And what made the fire strange? What was so terrible about this fire? Was it wrong? Did it have the wrong ingredients, the wrong intentions? No, says the Torah. The ingredients were right, the intentions was right. In fact, they had the highest level of kavanah. But what was wrong? Asher lo tziva otam. That this was an offering that God had not commanded. And to me, this is such an important lesson about Judaism. You see, it reminds us that we as Jews worship God on His terms. The Torah, Judaism, halacha are not things that we mold to conform with that which we want. But on the contrary, what makes them meaningful and what makes them spiritual and what makes them important is the fact that God commanded. That God allows us access, right? That's really what it is. The reason why it's important to do it, to serve God on His terms, is because that's God allowing us access to Him. And if God doesn't invite us in, then we're barging in inappropriately. We're not meant to be accessing Him in that way at that point. Nadav and Avihu got carried away in their enthusiasm. Nadav and Avihu thought they could change the ritual and bring an offering that wasn't commanded of them. But the lesson of Nadav and Avihu for all time is that we don't have permission to change the ritual. That the Jewish rituals, the Jewish laws are incredibly important, spiritually sublime, exacting, and perfect. And that we need to approach them with a requisite humility and awe, and be so thankful and grateful that God allows us into His presence in this way. And in changing them, when we deviate from them, and that's not really even worshiping. That's just being self-fulfilling. Of course, as Jews, we need to infuse our personality into the mitzvos and our drives and our passion, and make it uniquely tailor them to us, but within the framework of halacha, within the framework of Jewish law, is what gives them their meaning and infinite depth and spirituality. To be a person of religion is to recognize the relationship between God and man, to recognize that we are finite and God is infinite, and we stand before Him grateful and awed, with a tremendous sense of His vastness and majesty. And that is what it means not to offer a strange fire, to worship God in His terms, in the way He allows us in, so to speak. And that was Nadav's and Avihu's failure, and our responsibility for all time. Have a great day. I hope you enjoyed that episode of Judaism Today. If you did, please make sure to follow us on Facebook, subscribe on YouTube, or check into our podcast wherever podcasts are listened to. And we look forward to hearing from you more.